Our topic for today's public divination is whether you are really breaking up or just temporarily apart. Now please keep calm and close your eyes for 3 seconds. Then rely on your first intuition. Choose the card that resonates the most with you from 1, 2, 3 cards. First, let's look at the first set of cards. I think you should give up for now. I didn't really break up because in the future I can clearly see a little boy giving flowers to a little girl. That is to say, your future will have intersections, but I think your current state should be relatively passive, or should be a state of training. I tend to think it's a state of training. Let's first look at the world mysteries of chess and card games. You know, when you were together in the past, there were problems with your feelings. There are some problems you have never solved, or you want to solve them, but never completely solve them. When the world is upright, it represents a kind of completeness, and when it is reversed, it represents a kind of incompleteness. It's just a matter of a word, always a bit off, that kind of feeling. Now, it's a heart rate view. I would think that your current state is rather passive. That is, there is such a that don't move if I don't move feeling, or indeed there is some overlap, but this overlap won't. The feeling of one party persistently bothering the other, even if one party is clinging to the other, one is sure to be as immovable as this newly graduated public security officer, but I'm more inclined to regard it as a state of exercise. But the best thing is that a new moonlight card appears, which I think you guys have a little bit of. One side may already be in contact with new people, but the contact is not particularly successful, because the future has picked up a 6 of Cups, which represents a card of memories, and also represents some things from your past. And you can also see a little boy folding flowers for a little girl. That is to say, he came in contact with new people, so to speak. In your Bearwits of Years state, or say, during the days he was unwilling to agree, it has gone back to your future memories. And there was some intersection and even a thread. It was a very good communication. So I think it's not a temporary breakup, and then see if we can reconcile in the near future. You can add a plate to see. The newly appointed political commissar. I don't think it's going to happen before the end of this year, haha. Because the Star card represents a card of hope and a card of healing. So I would think that you will be in the recent future, that is, in the next month or two. That's just to say, before the new year this year, before the end of the year, it has always been in a state of a new emerging state. That is, there's a healing of this emotional damage. There is a sorting out of this emotion. Then I think there should be some changes in the years to come. The breakthrough is because it's arranged this way. It's a more positive water element and also represents a kind of warmth. The way they arrange it represents a beautiful hope and wish, and it is a common seat between you two. The above is about the reading of the first set of arrangements, hoping to help you. Next, let's take a look at the movie group shooting. It is possible to reconcile because a full war flag appeared later. This war card is an action card. This is a card with very strong breakthrough power, so I think this card may suddenly match with you, or it may have been premeditated, he has been thinking before. Then the decision has already been made, so the speed of reconciliation is quite fast, and everything like deployment is ready. He knows you'll agree, so he mentions it first. Let's look at the appearance of this card in Total War 3 poker. Let's put it this way, we feel that when you were together in the past, actually, you both have doubts about this relationship, so you two certainly didn't break up all of a sudden without any clues. It's just that they inexplicably separated all of a sudden. But your words, in fact, have been in a state of doubt about this relationship. And then, in the end, if you broke up, your current situation would look like this. If you arrange it like an emperor congressman, it is actually a kind of desire suppression, which means you are suppressing a desire for him. It's the desire to find him, or the desire of feelings. There is a feeling of self-repression, And for this relationship, after all, you've broken up, so you may feel a little loss of control over this relationship. You might have many times because I think your relationship is a bit unstable. It may have occurred in your past.
Every time when we break up again, sometimes you're very confident in your heart that you can definitely get back together this time. But this breakup makes you hesitated a bit. Will you feel that this time the breakup is the real breakup, and this time the breakup is really not going to get back together? You seem to be losing a bit of control over this relationship, and the other parties as well. Because of this indecision, you actually have control over this relationship. Reflecting on it, you're thinking, did I do something wrong in this relationship? Was I being too dramatic, too unstable? It's a bit too noisy, followed by some introspection and self-blame. And your current state is actually quite uncomfortable because there is to suppress your own emotions, and you might be in pain every night, especially in the early stage after a breakup. It's more likely to suffer from insomnia, which is quite painful, leading to sleeplessness. The heart is in a painful feeling, but this kind of emotion can resonate because the next card, the election chest, is upright, which means that the other person's current situation is the same as yours. But he has also been thinking, he believes that this relationship can still continue. So what happens in the future is a war of banners, meaning his recent situation. Before the new year, you will have some enlightenment. Moreover, the explosive power is strong and the speed is fast, so I feel this relationship, it's not a real breakup, just a temporary separation. The above is an interpretation of this group of words. Hope it can help you. Finally, let's look at the third set of cards. The third set of cards can compound the future. A sword light appears in the upright position. Although this set of cards are all dual element cards, looks full of hurt, full of damage. But you guys can still carry on with this relationship. It feels like you haven't finished yet and can continue to toss it around. Because if the wellness tube certificate can be represented, it means there's progress. First, let's look at the number 5 card that appears in the chess game. You feel that there was a lot of conflict in your relationship before you broke up. It should be between the two of you and some more conflicting cases. And then just brush. Neither is willing to make a concession. Both are stubborn. And then, after a fierce quarrel, no one lets anyone else, and the winner is actually not feeling good inside. The person who wins also feels quite lost in his heart, because he feels like he's won, but seems to have lost more. I can always run this lazy stall. There's an expensive razor towel in my hand and something on the ground. And then what he holds in his hand feels like he can't lift it. It's also a quite lost card, and it feels like it's in your argument, actually. From an emotional perspective, there's no winning or losing. If we have to talk about losing and winning, then both people have lost, because this relationship is because of your every argument. Then it might be thinner. Then in terms of linearity, it's more extreme. Because what appears are the station signs of the health period certificate. I would think that either you both don't act, and currently it is a very passive state. Either one side is persistently annoying. Why say so extreme? This card, Yumbao Competitive Shares, it's a card that prefers shortcuts. You'll start to think in reverse. You'll think that since you're not moving, I won't move either. I see. So I'm the one who always initiates contact, but this time I'm not going to. Maybe you'll come to me. As long as you don't reach out, then you lose, I win. That's how you'll think. Then you either can't control your own actions at all. Anyway, you just don't care. You just have to be stubborn. You think this relationship can continue anyway. You just have to be stubborn. You just feel, well, that's just my day now. It's quite boring and I'm not feeling well. I just want to pester you. Maybe we will reconcile after some pestering. Once we reconcile, I feel better. You might be in such a state. Either you are very passive or you are stubborn, which is a more severe extreme state. And the last one is a fake health official certificate. The upright arrangement represented by the insurance officer represents the implementation and breakthrough of a plan. So if this end plate appears, it implies that your relationship can make a breakthrough and reconcile in the recent period. Actually, if this health period card is displayed, your relationship is about to have a breakthrough. I arrived at Huazhenguang. This arrangement represents a breakthrough waiting for you in the future, so this set of cards can meet the above. The above words are about an interpretation of these 3 sets of cards. Hope it can help you.